إبراهيم الأمين، إبراهيم عبد المحسن القفاص.
For 7 minutes, the names of the victims were read aloud as people cradled pictures of their loved ones. The blast happened when a fire ignited a massive stockpile of ammonium nitrate that was being stored at the port. And all these months on, Beirut residents are still demanding answers. So far, no senior officials have been held to account, and Lebanese authorities have been criticised for blocking a judicial investigation. Well, throughout the day, protesters rallied near the Parliament building in Beirut, where tensions flared. They clashed with security forces who responded with tear gas and water cannon. At the time of the explosion, Lebanon was already in the midst of a spiraling financial crisis and economic collapse caused by decades of state corruption and waste. Poverty is soaring. Medicines and fuel are running out, and any attempts at meaningful reform or any kind of change has constantly been delayed by the inability to form a government. Al Jazeera's Zaina Khodr has been at the demonstrations in the capital, Beirut. She has more on the deep political dysfunction and economic meltdown gripping country.
We are now in Martyrs Square, which is the epicenter of the protest movement that began in October 2019. As you can see, they're still firing tear gas to disperse the remaining few protesters here. We've seen scenes like this play out in the streets of the capital for what, a year and a half now, and the next morning as if nothing has happened, as if nothing changes. The state is clinging onto power, calls from the street for a new leadership, a new leadership, really, different from the one that has been governing this country for decades, since the end of the Civil War in 1990. Many people feel that they failed. They've run the economy into the ground, and they have failed to build a state. The government resigned a few days after the Beirut port explosion last year. In the aftermath, it operates in a caretaker capacity, so it doesn't have much powers to actually solve the economic crisis in the country. Since then, there have been 3 prime minister designates, and they have failed to reach an agreement with the president to form a government. Parliamentary elections are scheduled next year. Many of these people who want a new leadership have said time and time again, we can't bring about change from the street. We are now going to bring about change at the ballot box. But there are a number of issues. First of all, the electoral law which is in place, it was designed to benefit those in power. So they've in many, many ways rigged the system. So they will definitely, the traditional parties will definitely continue to hold a sizable number of seats. Independents, they may be able to win up to 20 seats in the 128-member parliament. But what is different? Many expect if there is an election today or tomorrow, the balance of power in this country will change.